So when my husband found out that I had been cheating, I really honestly felt like he wouldn't care.
After I broke up with my husband after a 25-year marriage, one of my biggest fears was that I would never find a man.
Women initiate 70 to 80% of all divorces.
A reality check for modern women begins after destroying their marriages.
I'm getting divorced this year after 21 years with the same person, but the idea of dating terrifies me.
Let's chat about dating after divorce.
Y'all want to know what's stupid? Dating. Y'all want to know what's even more stupid? Dating when you're 48.
The lesson here is, the end result of ending your marriage is pain.
So after divorce, you're not damaged goods. And I think people come out of relationships thinking, who's going to want to date me? I've got baggage, I've been married, I've got children. And that's actually so far from the truth. People love you and love, people in all different shapes, sizes, baggage, history, it doesn't matter. So I think with dating after divorce, it's actually just putting yourself out there. There's plenty of ways to date right now, and whether that's online, whether that's in person, whether that's a friend of a friend's, but you've actually got to be in it to win it. So don't avoid it. There is love after divorce, I promise you.
So when my husband found out that I had been cheating, I really honestly felt like he wouldn't care. He didn't care about trying to save our marriage beforehand. And so I honestly thought that we would just split and there'd be no hard feelings and we'd co-parent with our daughter and everything would be good. And that's not quite the way it worked out.
I'm getting divorced this year after 21 years with the same person, and that's a story for another time. But the idea of dating terrifies me. The amount of horror stories I have heard, whether it's on this app or from friends, how are you all doing it? And don't get me wrong, I am nowhere near ready to be dating, but I just am in this exploratory phase of trying to understand what it's like. I'm not on any apps. I'm not anywhere near it, but I'm trying to wrap my head around the idea of being able to trust strangers, that you meet through an app or I don't even know, out somewhere. I have no words. How are you all doing it? I would love some tips and tricks or just general guidelines of how you're approaching it. It's all new to me, and you'll probably see a few videos from me about this because this is just like uncharted territory.
If it really terrified you so much, why didn't you work on your marriage? I do understand her concerns, though, because everyone today who's dating is just miserable. But that's because they're rushing into relationships out of desperation. They don't take their time to get to know somebody anymore.
Okay, follow up on my date from last night. I looked on Hinge and he unmatched me already. So needless to say, I don't think there's going to be a second date. I basically had to ask him for his number. I honestly thought that we were like vibing. There were a couple like pink flags for me, like he didn't pay the check. He also didn't eat. I ate. He didn't really ask me too much about myself, but he did give me compliments about me and my looks or whatever. He didn't ask out to hang out again, so like that's probably a sign. But we literally talked for 3 hours and I felt like it was actually not going too bad. And he unmatched me, so I just hate like the not knowing. Like, what was it? I just want you to tell me what it was.
Okay, here we go. I am seeing a lot in our community on dating after divorce, and there's two schools of thought here. There's a group of women that are thriving on their own and are successful and are in their genius zone. And then there's the group that are wanting to date, and we are teaching them to set that bar very high and to not allow it to budge. And don't compromise and meet in the middle because you are lowering that standard. Yes, you're worthy of it. Remember that, and I'll explain in the next video.
First of all, you can't be 40 and delusional. Pick a side. I'm starting to think these so-called dating coaches want to help keep these women single. They're talking about keep the bar and standard high, like that's going to help them get into relationships. That's probably why they're divorced in the first place. They probably had all of these crazy delusional expectations.
I'll tell you this. I don't have time for somebody else's crap. Do you know what it's like out there in the dating world? Have you tried these apps? They're freaking terrible. They're like shopping in a thrift store. I mean, that's what dating at 50 is like. Who's the least damaged freak out there? And by the way, I have to turn around and ask myself the same question. People are saying that about you too. So that's why I don't date. That is why.
Well, me and this woman are agreeing on one thing, and that's how hard the dating world really is for these older women. It's honestly not even worth it, because everyone today lack the commitment to be in a relationship. That's why I keep telling men, if you're in your 50s and has worked on yourself, you will always be desired.
As someone who's been in a relationship for about the past 25 years, married for almost the past 24, and newly is separated or been separated for a year, filed for divorce, and has been dating or dating a person for a decent amount of time. And then to have said person that seemed like a great guy that you really connected with, that like you just enjoyed each other's company and it was easy, to kind of just out of nowhere decide that he wanted to end it, that right now he didn't want a relationship. And he has some stuff going on personally that, and I get he can't dedicate the time that he needs, and I was causing extra stress when I said I wouldn't. But it's like being in high school and breaking up with that boyfriend that you really liked. It's rough.
Why is she so hurt that the guy ended the relationship? That guy was already dealing with some issues of his own, and she was just adding on to it when she promised she wouldn't. Honestly, jumping into a relationship after divorce is the worst thing you can do, because you're not in the right state of mind. She was just listening to her emotions. It's really important to take your time before moving on.
When I'm on a dating app and they ask me what I do for a living, I just tell them I'm a probation officer. Then they delete me, but get to find out who the bad and the good ones are. Follow me for more dating tips.
Y'all want to know what's stupid? Dating. Y'all want to know what's even more stupid? Dating when you're 48. And at the top of the list is dating at 48 during a pancetta when you've worn nothing but PJs for a year. This is gonna be fun!
She's right. I agree that it's stupid because you shouldn't be dating at that age. You should be married. Because what's happening now is that these older women are competing with the younger ones. Dating for them is only getting harder.
Dating in your 40s after divorce is like, yo, babe, age is nothing but a number. Yes, honey, that's what I said when I was 19 too.
Number one thing holding you back from dating again.
As a heterosexual female, I think we could all agree that the number one reason we are not dating is men.
As a heterosexual male, I think we can all agree that the number one reason she is not dating is because she has poor taste in men. This is a typical issue that these women have. They keep picking the same types of guys and get left broken, and then blame men because of the choices they make. The number one thing I know for sure is that these women suffer with taking accountability.
In conjunction with my 5 favorite things about being single, I'm going to give you my 5 least favorite things about being single. Taking out the trash. Fucking sucks. There's nothing pleasant about taking out the trash. The juice dripping, it filling, you have to cram your hand down there. It's just, and where the trash bins are, like absolutely not. And then you have to do it really quick. No, absolutely not. Not for the girls. Being cold. When I'm with a man, I'm never cold. They're always warm. They're like an instant furnace beside me. They can be 5 foot away and I'm still like getting the heat resonating off their body. 3, I never cook when single, because when single, like there's no amount of delicious recipe that's going to make me want to fully chop up a meal and cook for one and then wash like the 20 dishes that come along that ride, which is fine because a charcuterie board is a 4-course meal, but I digress. 4, being forced to be home alone when maintenance comes. I can't and don't want to fix it myself, but I also don't want to be home alone when the maintenance serial killer man comes, because he's obviously a serial killer. And finally 5, earthquakes alone in California, in your bed at 4 a.m.
That's what it means to be an independent woman. Sounds like she's doing just fine to me.
Hey, peace. What's up? All right. I divorced my husband. Why did I divorce my husband? I divorced my husband because I was making a certain amount of money. I divorced my husband because I thought I didn't need him anymore. I divorced my husband because I had this senior position at work and thought I held the same position at home. I divorced my husband because I thought I was better than him because I had my degree now. I divorced my husband because I thought a successful marriage meant I was here and he was down here. That is not success. That's fucking sickness. I found myself divorced and out there looking for love in all the wrong places, fucking this one and that one and that one and that one and this one and that one, and my body count going up and my value going down. I'm just going to call it like a TI is. All the while, my husband done found somebody else building a relationship and building a life with them. I should have stayed married to.
It takes a level of maturity to admit this, so I respect it. A lot of women lose a good man over stupid things like this. Women typically want their man to earn more money than them for whatever reason. And if they don't, it becomes a problem in the relationship. Even if you were treating that woman right for 5 years of your life, if you are not making more than her, those 5 years just goes out the window. That's just shallow.
Not everything's meant to last forever, so those that want to stay will stay, and those that want to leave will leave. Keep your chin up, Buttercup. Someone's going to come along and snatch you up and keep you forever. But until then, enjoy it. Enjoy the moments, because that's all they are.
You'd be cool with a guy that makes less money, but he's a hard worker, like he's ambitious.
Yeah.
Let's say he just started his own business, but he makes $45,000 a year. Would you date him?
You wouldn't be able to afford my engagement ring. I'm getting an 8-carat cushion cut vintage engagement ring. If you make $45,000 a year, it would take you 4 years? No. 8 years to afford my
how much?
ring?
I don't know anything about rings. How much is that?
About $200,000.
Girl, you want a $200,000? Are you insane?
My ring has to sparkle from across the street. Like, you have to see that shit. It's gonna blind people.
That's so superficial. That's like so superficial.
But it's about so much more than that. It's about the fact that you can afford that, right? I go to yoga with this girl who has an 8-carat diamond engagement ring.
Yeah.
A weed company and drives an Audi. So it's about more than just, it's about the fact that you can afford that.
Okay, well, I'm just thinking like, you're gonna miss out on a lot of guys because I'm telling no, but not in a good way. Not in a good way. I'm telling you, like, if my mom asked for that from my dad would have told her to go find a new boyfriend because there's no way in hell he was gonna spend $200,000 on an engagement ring.
For a 1.5, she's very demanding. Even if I end up in a position where I could afford a $200,000 engagement ring, I would never in my life buy it. That is such a waste of money. My husband told me it's him I'm getting and that's all. And I took him. Most amazing person ever. Most hardworking ever, won't change him for the world. Crazy, I got my wife a string for a ring, and we've been married and happily in love for 14 years. Will she be willing to spend that type of money on the same man she's requiring that level of standards from? These are the women that you want to stay away from. This woman wants a $200,000 ring, and for what? She's basically saying, I want the wedding but not the marriage. All of these women who says things like this are the first ones to file for divorce. With those delusional requirements, she's bound to be alone.
Why is dating so hard?
Men suck. Men are dumb.
Why do you feel that way?
Would you like to explain why you're dumb?
I'm pretty dumb. I say what I think, and, you know.
Does that make you dumb because you express yourself?
I think I express myself sometimes, and it's a problem. I show my emotions.
Why do you feel that way, though? Because you're the one that said it.
He does not speak his emotions. He does not speak much at all, and I like to talk.
Okay.
Try asking a man how his day was when he came home from work.
How long have y'all been together?
1 year.
How'd you meet?
In a bar.
When I'm silent, that doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means I'm silent. I'm just chilling.
Well, you can tell who's the head in that relationship. This man is basically on a leash, afraid to speak his mind because he's afraid she's gonna leave him. Fellas, you don't ever want to be in that position. That's the worst thing you can do to yourself. Every one of these women say men suck, but they're still picking that same type of man. Guess they really do like their misery.
So I know I look like a little bit crazy. I only got 3.5 hours of sleep because I have insomnia even after I took melatonin. But it's just crazy how like you can be sitting and you can be fine, and then like all of a sudden out of nowhere, like you remember again that you can't reach out to that person, or like, and it hurts because you're worried about them. And I know that he doesn't deserve me to feel the way I do, but that's the type of person that I am, that I just see the best in people, and people that I care about, I never want anything bad to happen to them. And maybe I'll move past that and I'll be angry, but for right now, it's just really hard to not reach out or I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's just hard. And like, I know it's going to get better, but I'm still struggling.
If you can't tell, this is the same woman who was married for 25 years and divorced her husband to chase chads. Now she's having a mental breakdown. This honestly should be served as a wake-up call for these modern women today.
You ever meet somebody and wonder why they're single? Cut to a week later, you find out why they're single. Rinse and repeat. That's basically dating in your 40s. We all single for a reason, guys.
Let's talk about dating when you're over 40. I have probably tried every dating app there is. And what I find is that if you are somebody that would like to go fishing, I mean, you're in. It's a winner. There's a lot of fishermen out there single. If you want to go to the pub with somebody, another winner. If you really want to drink a lot, that's a winner. Also, if you're like in your mid-40s like me and you would like to start a family, that's also a winner, because many men out there, what have you been doing, are all ready to start families. Oh my God. Us women, we're done with that. We've either decided not to have kids or we've had them and that's it. We're finished, thank you very much. What have you guys all been doing all this time? I want to know. So I recently listened to a podcast and it was all about how women have actually ditched dating apps in the hopes of finding someone organically. I mean, yes, please. I would absolutely love to find somebody organically, but it's pretty tricky. I live in a fairly small town and the pond, let's just say it's a little murky. So come on, I would like your dating tips and advice on how to find a guy, just somebody that maybe not only has a gym membership but goes to the gym or does running or keeps active, has all their teeth, enjoys their career, is passionate about what they do, and doesn't want to sit in the pub all day. I mean, brilliant. Bring it on. Who's out there? Come on.
This is becoming a pretty common thing where women are now approaching men. And the reason is pretty simple. That's because men have stopped approaching women, so now they're forced to put themselves out there. Not even dating apps are helping them anymore to find the husband that they're looking for. They've asked to be left alone, and men have responded. Be careful what you wished for.
This is the dangers of TikTok and absolute thinking and talking. And I am guilty of it too, just FYI. We only have 1 to 3 minutes to explain certain things, and that right there is not truth. Women do cheat for more emotional reasons typically, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're out of love. It means they're in a really troubled spot in their relationship and within themselves and are looking for an escape.
If your woman spreads her legs to another guy, you need to get rid of her immediately. That is no longer your woman. Let her keep that man she was cheating on you with. You will be better off going your own way.
I don't know. Is this what happens when you're dating in your 50s? Like, I don't remember it being this hard. Okay, so I made plans for us to go to this concert. It's an Oingo Boingo gathering locally. And I asked him if he wanted to go. It's for next Friday. And he said, yes, I do. I want to go. So I got us tickets to go with another couple, 4 people. So last night he tells me, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to go because I have the kids on Saturday and you and I got invited to go to a Memorial Day party and I want to go to that party. But to do that, we're not going to be able to go to the Oingo Boingo together, which means that now I'm going alone because he's going to have his kids because he can't swap the kids out for the one day. But here's the thing. If he wanted to swap out the kids, he would. If he wanted to make the time, he does. And that's where my mind is going. It's like I'm going a little crazy. My birthday's next week or in 2 weeks, June 2nd. So Memorial Day weekend is like the kickoff. So it would have also been nice if he said, you know, listen, let's do something for your birthday. I'm going to swap out. I'm not going to have the kids the whole weekend. We'll do the Oingo Boingo. We'll go to the party and maybe Sunday night we'll go and have a really fun night. That's something that you want to do. And instead he canceled on me. And I'm not going to lie, I'm very hurt. Like, it's just very sad for me and I'm very sad inside.
What she's talking about is something that's called ghosting. It's a tactic that women have used multiple times over and over again. It's something that's happened to men multiple times when trying to date. She's starting to get a taste of it. At least now she can relate to all of the guys who went through this. I can agree he could have planned something and include her in it. But the man got his priorities straight. The kids comes first.
Women initiate 70 to 80% of all divorces, and here's my theory on why. It comes down to tolerable level of permanent unhappiness, and men have a higher threshold for it. And this is based on really what I see in my comments on a daily basis. I see a lot of men who are divorced, who are angry divorced men, who have really negative things to say about their marriage and their ex-wives. And I always say to myself, well, if she was so awful for so many years, why did you stay?
The reason why those men stayed is because they've invested so many years into that family. It's not going to be easy for him to walk away. In some cases, even if the man is unhappy, he will stay in that relationship. One of the main reasons why those men don't leave is because they have kids. It's way easier for the woman to just walk away and destroy her family instead of working it out with her husband. Marriage is a commitment. You don't just bail out whenever you feel unhappy. You're not always going to be happy in the relationship. That's why communication is really important.
To walk into a date, sitting here just in frozen in sheer panic. Don't even know why. It's literally no big deal. I've lived my whole life without this person, so if they don't like me, the world will continue to go on. But why am I so nervous? This is what I hate about the first date. This walking in. You don't know where they're standing. You don't know where they are. They're standing outside. You just walked by them. I mean, they look like, but you don't really know. If there's windows all along this place and he watches me walk, a really weird walk. But if there's a bunch of people at table when I walk in and then I can't find anything around, awkwardly walk half a block. I get there, I'm going to be all out of breath and be like, hi! So many possibilities that could go wrong here. Okay, this is no big deal.
So I know everybody's heard all these crazy dating stories, and I haven't been on a date since I was with the last guy. And I'm like seriously considering never dating again. I see all these horror stories. It's the guys that, you know, like me are not the kind of guys I like. Just so much to it. And especially being in my 50s and not being skinny, it just is such a challenge that I don't even know if I want to bother anymore. You know, I just don't know if I should just grow old by myself. I'm already old, but you know, older. Sorry about my hair. But I don't know. I mean, what is your opinion on this dating situation? I don't find anybody that's really been happy or successful with it. Any ideas, guys? I'd love to hear your feedback on the whole dating 2020.
The dating world is upside down right now. It's even harder when you're older. But imagine still being picky about guys when you're at 50. Not saying you gotta choose just anybody. But these women will swipe over 200 guys and still say they can't find a guy they like. Ridiculous.
You're probably going to think I'm crazy, but I think situationships are wonderful, especially the ones that absolutely break your heart. And the reason I think that is because they are a masterclass in self-love. You see, when you're picking someone and you're giving your heart to someone, your energy, your time, your attention, your affection, and they're enjoying all those gifts and not meeting you halfway, you're forced to choose. Do you keep giving that love to someone who doesn't treasure it, who doesn't want to keep it safe? Or do you finally choose to love yourself? And most of us, once we get through the heartbreak, we pick ourselves. And that failed love story becomes the greatest teacher. We know what we will never tolerate again. And we start working on ourselves to heal the parts of us that accepted less than we deserved.
Are you stupid? Situationships are for people who just want to sleep with you. Nothing about that is wonderful. How about giving your time and energy to someone who showed you that they deserve it? If the person you are with is not showing you that same love and energy back, you should probably take that as a signal to move on. And most women who jumps into situationships comes to regret it later on in life. Except for this one. She hasn't woken up from her delusion.
Hello, welcome to Dating at 50. So I've opened myself back up to the dating pool, and it is totally difficult, to say the least. Some people that come on across my FYP page are always talking about love. And one of them is always very needy to be in a relationship. I, on the other hand, I don't really feel that need to have to be in a relationship. I am so comfortable solo, and basically it also comes down to a level of trust. And I think I've been burned so many fucking times that I have to take things super fucking slow. So my advice in the dating at 50 or dating at any age, take it slow. Do not jump in and give everything you have to someone immediately.
Take it slow, you say? It's already slow, lady. They should be picking up the pace at this point if they want to date. A woman in her 50s will not be a man's first choice in the dating world. That's just how it goes. This is happening because those women didn't have their priorities straight. Now, it's just them competing with younger women for the spotlight.
Hinge days have come to an end. It's not because I've met the love of my life and we're going to go have a shotgun wedding in Vegas. Oh God, no. Do you know that there's kind, fun souls out there who are ready to love and receive love? Because I'm one of them. They're absolutely not on Hinge. But you know who is on Hinge? Everyone's 20-something-year-old sons. Oh no, I had my Mr. 28 adventure last year and that was a wild ride. And I still don't understand why you 20-somethings want an older woman. Is it because you think we're financially and emotionally stable? Because I assure you, we are not. You're getting one or the other. You ain't getting both, okay?
Thank you for coming into my life. But most importantly, thank you for leaving it. You taught me that I can let my walls down, that I don't have to be guarded, but just not to someone like you. You were a lesson.
We want to be in a relationship. We do. Do we want to date people? We do not.
So how do we go about fixing that? We cry. No, we don't cry. We put ourselves out there. And then what? Then we cry. No.
4 reasons that girls don't like nice guys. Number 1, they're not actually ready for something serious. They think they are, but when a guy shows interest and is consistent and wants to see them, they run the other way. So they're probably just not ready. Number 2, it feels inauthentic sometimes to us women when we see a guy being so nice right off the bat. Like, why do you like me so much? I'm too skeptical. And maybe that's from being burnt in the past, but Number 3, it could be a confidence thing. Like, we don't like ourselves at the moment, so why did they like us? What did they see in us? Because I'm not seeing anything in me right now. Number 4, we love a project, so when they're already nice, there's nothing for us to do. We can't change this person. And that is some real truth.
No, they don't like nice guys because they're used to the guys who break their hearts. They're not used to that proper treatment from a good guy. These women are addicted to toxicity, so it's impossible for them to see when they have a good guy in their life. And to be honest, the nice good guy is better off not messing with these types of women. They will most likely mistreat them.
Okay, this is my outfit for my day. So I got this cute purse, these heels, these boots, and this cute little outfit, and these earrings and all this stuff. And hopefully I won't throw up on him because I'm nervous. Hi, so like when you're 41 years old and you're dating for the first time in your life because you're with the same person for half of your life and they died 3 years ago, and then you're like, I'm going to try to date and get out in the world because how bad can it be? Well, it can be bad. And then you also understand and come to the realization that you actually don't know how to date. You only know how to be a wife. And that sucks. And so you're learning these lessons of things that you should have learned in your 20s and 30s, but you didn't because you were with the same person the whole time, right? So you don't learn these lessons. And then you also would think too, at this age, that people would have their shit together a little bit better, at least know what they want or don't want, and then not to string you along and think that this is what they want and then they change their mind. Like, you would think that, but it's not true. And then you try to be objective and you try to think positive and you try to no, not everyone can be like that, but then you're realizing maybe everybody is like that.
First of all, I'm sorry for your loss. Her case is very different than the rest of these modern women today. It's a very unfortunate situation she's fallen into, but the world is cruel to us all. Good luck.
So you mean to tell me that there are 7 billion people in the world and nobody loves me?
Okay, so you're this? Yeah. But you want this? Yeah. Okay, so in order to get that, you'd have to do this.
Dude, this guy's tiny. He must be a dwarf. Sorry, I'm not interested in being friends with midgets. Midgets piss me off.
The comments under this video have been distasteful, disgusting, and outright disrespectful.
I hate to tell you this, but if your ex started dating someone right after you guys broke up, typically that means that the other person was there the whole time.
This is spot on, but mostly common amongst women. Be careful who you allow to be in your life. Some people are great actors.